Hello, welcome back. Today we are starting another reading vlog, and this is the third installment in a reading vlog series that I absolutely love, and it is where I read books about asylums or institutions. I have two other vlogs reading institution, asylum books, and I will link them up in the cards and also down below, so definitely check those out. And in the first one I found a 5-star and I ended up crying, and it's one of the best books I've ever read. So maybe this time we'll find another one. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk to you about the brand I'm collaborating with on this video, and that's Readia. And they reached out to me and asked if they could send me one of their electric candle lighters to try out. I've always seen these on like Amazon videos, but I've never had one for myself. I've always planned on getting one, but I always said, oh, well, when I run out of my regular lighters or when they're out of lighter fluid or whatever it is, I'll get them. And I just haven't gotten around to them. So I was so excited when they said they would send me one, and I got to pick my color, and I picked the white one. It's the S4 Classic, and this has no lighter fluid whatsoever. It works only on electricity. I don't know about you, but I have never used matches. I hate them. But the regular lighter fluid flame lighters, not only can they be dangerous depending on if you have dogs or kids around, but they also have that like sulfuric smell after. And you can't really use them outside because of the wind. And this one is windproof, and it's super safe. There's no chance of you starting a fire or trying to throw away a match and it sparking in the garbage can or anything like that. So I could use this to light like a citronella candle or a fire outside and not worry about it. Something else that I really like is that it has this button that you turn on and it turns blue to let you know it's on. And that's how you know that it's ready to light. I don't know if you can see that. And it is rechargeable, and it came with this USB recharger, so I could just plug it into any wall port that I already have or my computer or anything like that. And then it charged up really quick, and I've only charged it the one time and I've been able to use it the whole time. I haven't had to charge it again since I've had it. And after you don't use it for like, I think it's 15 seconds, it automatically turns off. So it'll keep that battery. You don't have to worry about leaving it on and having it like run out of battery. See, it's already off. So it turns off on its own, which is nice, and I feel like that's safer too. And this lighter is super easy to get a hold of. You can order it on Amazon and it'll be at your doorstep. Mine arrived super quick to me. And Readia also gave me a code for you all to use for this, so thank you so much for that. So I will have that on the screen as well as below in the description box. So this is perfect for helping you create the ambiance and the atmosphere that is conducive to a good reading afternoon. So thank you so much to Readia for supporting my channel, and without further ado, let's jump into the vlog. I thought I would update you on my first book for this vlog, which is Silence for the Dead by Simone St. James. And I got last night to page 147 on sprints, and I'm enjoying it so far. So this is about Kitty, and she is a nurse at Portis House. And Portis House is a really old mansion. It's like an old house. Yeah, you can see it there. In London. Kitty goes there to become a nurse, but she actually faked her application. She actually is saying she's a nurse, but she's essentially like posing as her roommate who's an actual nurse. Lucky for Kitty, there's not a whole lot of like actual like medical nursing going on. It's mainly like caregiving for the patients that live at Portis House. And these patients are PTSD war veterans. So they talk about these men who have shell shock. They talk about them being madmen. And so they're just really traumatized, tortured men that just couldn't regulate back into normal society after the war. This is set in 1919. And like, of course, in 1919, you'd walk in there and see these men, and they're handsome and they talk sweetly. And she's like, there's no way you're crazy. But, you know, obviously stuff like that, you know, you can't see PTSD, you know, just with the naked eye. I mean, there are some things you can see, but for the most part, you can't see how somebody's brain makeup has been changed due to their trauma. And it's almost like, wow, we haven't gotten anywhere since that. You know, like they were doing that in 1919. We still do that today. I still see that happening all the time. Anyways, so Kitty is navigating this new world of nursing and this new world of being in an institution, taking care of the patients there. There's only like 20 patients. So it's not like, you know, one of those overrun asylum type things, but they are short staffed. There's only 3 nurses for all of those patients and like a couple of orderlies. And of course, Kitty gets put on night shift, and of course she thinks the house is haunted. You know, that's typical Simone St. James, right? But this is Simone St. James' third book. Her first one, The Haunting of Maddie Clare, I did read, and it has been like, it got a new cover, it got like re-released. And then the other one before this one was An Inquiry into Love and Death. I have not read that one, but I do have a goal to read her entire backlist. Okay, so this was published in April of 2014, and all of the chapters have this little swoosh on it, which is fun. So yeah, so far so good. I'm liking it, and who knows, maybe this will be the new Willowbrook.
If we keep talking forever, then I don't get where this thing goes. So sick of waiting for nothing, when all I want is to hold you close. And all my stupid friends try to bring me to my senses, but I'd rather be illogical. But calling you, I can't let go. We had our chances to patch things up again, and I can't believe that you let it slip somehow. So I get a little drunk on a Friday night with my
Hello, it is the next day, and I last night finished Silence for the Dead by Simone St. James. So I finished this in like 48 hours, and I read the whole thing physically, so that's impressive for me. Usually I'm a little bit slower reading books physically, but I really liked this. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It got a little bit action-y there at the end, and the ending did get a little bit dumpster fiery, but luckily at the end they did this like little wrap-up explaining it to like the magistrate or like the cops or whatever, and so I kind of understood that a little bit more, which was nice that they did that, because I was kind of like, wait, what happened? Basically, while Kitty is maneuvering being a nurse in this place and you know, kind of making connections and building relationships with the patients there, she learns about the family that lived there and how they just disappeared one day. And so now she's trying to figure out what happened to the people that lived in the house before it became an institution. And I just really liked the character development in a lot of these. It was a little bit, dare I say, smutty for 1919, but Kitty also had a very different upbringing than most, so I shouldn't be that surprised, but I was kind of scandalized for 1919, and but I kind of was here for it at the same time, and I wanted Kitty to get a happy ending. So I definitely recommend this book if you like darker historical fiction. I don't know if I would call this a mystery thriller, but like, it was a mystery. Like, we're trying to figure out what happened to the missing family, and we're trying to figure out if the house is haunted. It also was interesting because there was a influenza subplot in here too. So influenza comes to the institution, and even the main matron, like the head nurse, catches the flu, the influenza, and so Kitty has to kind of step up and lead things for a while, which was also like a fun little bit of like distraction from what was actually going on. Just overall, I really like this. If you like some light paranormal elements and you like historical fiction that's like a little bit darker with some mystery, then I definitely think this is a good one. And between this and The Haunting of Maddie Clare, which are her two like more backlist historical fiction that I've read, I definitely prefer this one. I think I gave The Haunting of Maddie Clare 3 stars. So yeah, 4 stars. I found myself wanting to pick this up, wanting to know how it ends, and trying to guess what was going to happen. And so yeah, all good things to say about it. And then now I'm moving on to The Institution by Helen Fields. And this, I don't know where I learned about this originally, but I don't know what I was looking up on my phone that led me to this, but I was in Vegas with the Fab Five. I will link my vlog if you haven't seen it already, when I went to Vegas. And I read the synopsis of this to the Fab Five, and I was like, guys, does that not sound like a Lena book? And they were like, yeah, it does. And then the next day we were at Barnes & Noble in Vegas, and Jesse was like, oh, Lena, here's that book that you like were telling us about. And I was so surprised because it really didn't have that much ratings on Goodreads, and so it seemed kind of like it was not a very popular book, but it was in Barnes & Noble, so Jessie gave this to me, and then she got a copy too. So I am buddy reading this with Jessie, so she's starting it today too, she said, and so I'll be like Marco Poloing my thoughts, more spoilery thoughts to her. But when I read this, I was like immediately sold, because it says a claustrophobic, haunting crime thriller that will keep you up at night, perfect for those who couldn't put down the sanatorium and Shutter Island. I love Shutter Island, the movie. I think I read the book years ago. I need to reread it though. And then the sanatorium, I did DNF, but I like the idea behind it. I read The Clinic earlier this year, and I really liked that one too, so that's another good one. But I love anything with an institution, an asylum, a psych ward, anything. So I'm super excited to dive into this one, and it has a really pretty cover. So it says, on a locked ward in the world's highest security prison hospital, a scream shatters the night. The next morning, a nurse's body is found and her daughter has been taken. A ransom must be paid and the clock is ticking. Forensic profiler Dr. Connie Woolwine is renowned for her ability to get inside the mind of a murderer. Now she must go undercover among the most deranged and dangerous men on earth and use her unique skills to find the baby before it's too late. But as the walls close in around her, can Connie get the killer before the institution gets her? And it's blurred by Lisa Gardner. And I didn't realize this, but it is set in, I think it's set in England. The author's from London. But there's a lot of like 5-star NetGalley reviews on the inside, which I think is interesting. Oh wow, she has a lot of different books. I had never heard of Helen Fields before, but it came out in 2023, and ooh, it has a map of the ward, so that's pretty cool. Okay, this is the next project. This is the before. There's just too much stuff in here. Just too much. And here is the after. It is so much better. There's so much more room. So down here, that's all my stuff for baths. I have like a bath mat and like a little thing that gives bubbles, and back there is my little like thing that goes over the tub that like holds my book and stuff. Extra like toilet paper, paper towels, face wipes, things like that. Extra bath towels. These are our dog's towels. Medicines and things like that, medical stuff. Extra like face wash and body wash and hair stuff, like extra toiletries. This is actually empty, so that's awesome. Those are extra hand towels. Those are sheets and blanket, well, just sheets for the full-size bed that we have. This is also empty. Those are extra like zip pouches for like travel and stuff. Those are our beach towels, and then those are the extra sheets for our queen size bed. So yeah, lots of extra room. I love it, room to grow. And my little helper here is still resting on the job. Okay, I forgot to get a before, but I just cleaned out and reorganized under my sink. So this basket, it was like really bad before, but this basket has all of my hair tools, and those are the 3 hair tools that I am getting rid of. And then this one has like feminine products, and then cleaning supplies back there, and like cotton balls and things like that. Paper towels, the more cleaning stuff back there, and extra soap. And then this is 2 deep of baskets of cleaning stuff, and then extra toilet paper. And so I got rid of an entire bag of stuff. So that was nice. It was needed. It needed to happen. And it looks and feels so good in here. So good. I need to do something with that. Like, I have no idea what to do with that. I guess I should put some like curtains up there or something. I don't know. I also kind of like how like open it looks. So yeah, I need to put a new thing there for people to wash their hands. So yeah, on to the next project. I need to take a little break, so I figured I would tell you what the institution is about. So I started it. I'm about 15% in. I'm on chapter 7, I think. And this story follows a detective. Well, she's not a detective. She's a therapist. She's like a psychoanalyst. So she, her job is to psychoanalyze serial killers and murderers. And she is called to help with the case where a nurse was working at the institution for the criminally insane, and she is murdered. not only is she murdered, but her baby is cut out of her. So Tara, the nurse, is murdered and her baby is missing. So not only do they need to find the baby, they need to figure out who murdered Tara. So this psychoanalyst is going into the deep, dark depths of the institution to try and figure out who murdered Tara and who took the baby. So yeah, so far so good. There was a scene that like made me feel icky and like sick to my stomach because she was describing like being in the head of the murderer, and like almost as if she were talking from the murderer's point of view. So yeah, so really good imagery so far. I'm loving it. It's gritty, it's heartbreaking, the things that go on in this institution, but not unrealistic. So that is something that often is like a pet peeve of mine in books about asylums, is that they're not like actually realistic based on what's going on. And this is, there's some things, but for the most part it's pretty realistic. So I think the author did some good research. My helper isn't very helpful.
My friends, staying up all night so I don't just lay and think about you. It's okay, but I'm all messed up. Don't know what to do to forget about you. So I can, woo, yeah, I can, woo. The blurry vision is helping when I'm stumbling in the dark. As soon as I'm feeling something, I just take another shot. All my stupid friends try to bring me to my senses, but I wanna stay this numb tonight so I don't have to think about it. We blew our chances to patch things up again, and I can't believe
I wanted to do a little Amazon haul with you and show you all the things that I got on Prime Day. Now I know there's a lot of controversy around Prime Day this year with Amazon just racking up the prices and then marking them down so that people think they're getting a deal, and the whole camel website. I looked at all of that. This is all things that I had in my cart already, and I knew what the regular price was because it's things I've been looking at for a while. I was just waiting to pull the trigger. And Indy thinks this package is for her, but it's not. So these are all things that we just genuinely needed around the house. Nothing too exciting, but I got this queen sheet set. We needed a new set of queen sheets, and we needed some that were deep pocket. So these are supposed to be deep pocket sheets, and I got white, and they have a little seam here. And so I hope these are good. I will let you know, I guess. But it is a 4-piece set. So it has a flat sheet, a fitted sheet, and then 2 pillowcases. And these are supposed to be buttery soft and microfiber. So hopefully they work out on our bed. I have an Amazon storefront, so I can link all of these, but my Amazon storefront is always linked down below. So if you're ever interested in any of the things that I talk about, anything that I have around my house that's from Amazon is typically listed there. And if it's not, leave me a comment, let me know, I'd be happy to link it. Okay, this is a new Amazon Fire Stick for our upstairs TV because the one we have is on the fritz. It hasn't been working for a while, and we tried to upgrade it and it didn't work. And Amazon Fire Stick is how we get access to our TV app. So we have a fiber optic system where we download an app on here, and that's how we get our cable TV or our like TV channels. I guess it's not really cable, but you understand what I mean. We need a new one of those, and this was on sale for like $24. And then this is a bra. It's a seamless bra. I just needed one that was just like easy to wear around the house. This is just a box in a box. But these are our pillows. We needed new pillows for our guest bed because in the next couple of weeks we have 2 different people that will be staying in our guest bed, and the pillows we have are pretty old, and so we've been needing new pillows for a while. We've been talking about it and trying to figure out which ones we wanted. So we finally pulled the trigger, and hopefully these ones are good. And if they're good on that guest bed, maybe we'll get some new ones for our bed. Well, for Tyler for our bed. I have a special pillow for my scoliosis that I use, so I wouldn't use these, but Tyler might want a new pillow. Look how tiny it is, all wrapped up. These are like vacuum racked. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this all the way down. Okay, so here are these pillows, and there's instructions on how to like fluff them up and make them fluffier, but they're a down alternative and they seem, ooh, very nice. They are soft, but then they have some firmness to them too. That's everything that I got on Prime Day. Like I said, these were already things that we needed. And then this was a good opportunity to just pull the trigger and get some extra money off. I'm going to flatten these so I can recycle them, and then let's go to the barbecue.
I was quietly protective of my heart to reassure that I couldn't break to pieces and be left alone once more. If you hadn't been so patient, you'd be easy to ignore. You put up with all my bullshit till you didn't anymore.
I am going to DNF The Institution. I've made it to 50% and I have no idea what's going on. I hate the narrator. I hate Dr. Connie. I hate all the characters. I don't know what's going on. It feels like satire. It's very strange. First of all, she says weird things like F-sickle and like just strange words. I'm like, that's not a thing. I don't know, just the things she says are just so cringy and over the top. And this is super unrealistic. It went from being very realistic to very unrealistic. And there's all these questions that I have that have never been answered. And I think that some of it is because this is the second in a companion series about this detective. So I don't understand the background or why she is the way she is, or why her methods are so out of the ordinary. Sorry, I feel like my laptop's in the way. There you go, that's better. Yeah, it's cringy. She's undercover with her partner and she's talking to him and she's about to leave and she's like, by the way, don't trust anybody in here. Like, really? You really think that you need to tell your partner not to trust the inmates of an institution for the criminally insane? What? It almost reminds me of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, when they play the clips of Sarah Marshall's detective cop show that she plays on, and they're just so cringy. That's what this reminds me of. And Jesse has already DNF'd it. And it's so sad because I do kind of want to know what happened to the baby, but I can't get through any more of this. It's just so cringe and I'm hating it. And I'm so sad because this premise is so good. And it has all of the ingredients to be a perfect Lena book. Yikes. No. There's one Goodreads review that I found because I was like, okay, is this just me or is this an actual thing? And I found this review and it's hilarious. And this is all of the things that I was thinking too. Where are the police and why are they just letting you, as an amateur detective who's never been undercover before, why are they giving you this high profile case where somebody literally cut a baby out of a woman as your first undercover, and they're just leaving you to your own devices in a locked psych ward? But it says, where are the police, you might ask? Oh no, they're not here. You don't need to worry, because Dr. Connie is there interviewing people and chatting away and slowly going insane from being back in the institution. And the police are like, yeah, cool. We will just stay on the mainland and let you have 4 days to find the baby. And then there's this patient B, which is her partner, who is undercover with her. And they say, so patient B gets locked up. Makes sense, because he's a criminal according to his fake background. And then he gets immediately sedated and locked in his cell, where he's rendered completely useless for gathering data and facts and evidence. So there's that. Meanwhile, Inspector Gadget is out there looking for her own clues, all the while emailing the police to keep in touch. Not even a phone call. Okay, sure. Oh, and then she goes for a drink with one of the doctors. But then at the end, she's like, this isn't a pageant show. This isn't some dating show. I'm here to work. Honey, you just went for a drink with him and now you're backpedaling? I'm sorry. It's just, no. The best is when the person writing this review calls Connie Dr. Woo Woo. Jesse was right to DNF it. I am also DNFing it, and that's that. So I'm moving on to Night Watch by Jane Ann Phillips. And I don't know how I learned about this book, but I learned about it and saw that it was an asylum book about West Virginia. And so then that made me think, oh, is this about the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston? And it is. Names and exact dates have been changed, but it's historical fiction essentially based on that. And there's a couple of POVs. Some of them I really don't care about and kind of like keep going through like really fast. I'll like fast forward through. But Connolly is a girl whose mother is being taken to the institution. And because she's not talking, she lost a lot of babies, and the trauma from losing a lot of babies is causing her to not be able to speak. Okay, I feel like you're tilting. Maybe that's better. I don't really know. But so Connolly is there with her mother, and when she's dropped off, she tells them that her mother is actually her employer and she's like a lady's maid. And this is in the 1800s. So they let her stay with her mother as her like nurse or her attendant. And this is like right when the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is open. So it's right at the beginning of the time of the institution being open. And at that point, it wasn't overrun. It wasn't horrible conditions. Like, it was a good place to send the mentally ill. So like this woman and Connolly get their own room. They go on walks. They have like nice meals. It's a 1-to-1 ratio with the staff and the patients. This is going to sound terrible, but that's not the part of institutions that I am captivated reading about, because obviously it was only like that for a short time, and then it became overrun. The staff were underpaid. There was like 50 patients to one orderly, and it became the terrible, terrible place that we know about asylums of that time. So I'm not super interested because this is just kind of like average. Like, there's nothing gripping, there's nothing thrilling, there's nothing horrifying, there's nothing making me like cringe. I almost feel like it's misleading to the history of asylums because there was so little of it that was actually like that. So I don't know, it seems interesting enough for me to keep reading, but I'm not loving it. We are back to finish out this vlog. I have read 3 books about institutions or asylums, and we're just gonna do a quick recap. The first book that I read was Silence for the Dead by Simone St. James, and I did give this 4 stars. This does have a little bit of like a ghosty element, but I love that in Simone St. James books. This is some of her backlist, but I think that if you like Simone St. James' more recent current day thrillers, then I think you'd enjoy this one. And then I DNF'd The Institution. This one was just not for me, but if you like police procedurals, or you don't mind a British narration, or you don't really mind not having any information or kind of unrealistic stories, then maybe pick this up. I don't know. I hope this finds its audience. It seems like it already has based on the Goodreads reviews, and I'm so happy for that. It just didn't work for me. And then I read Night Watch, and I did give that 3 stars. And like I said, if you really enjoy books about history, or if you enjoy books set in Appalachia, or if you're from West Virginia, then you'd probably really enjoy that. Or if you just really enjoy asylum stories like me. It was pretty cool reading about an asylum that I actually have been to and visited. So that was neat to kind of know what they were talking about and understand the things that they were saying about the area. That completes this video. Let me know down in the comments if there's other asylum related books that you can think of that I haven't done in these videos yet. I definitely love this series and want to keep doing these vlogs and reading these institution books for you. And once again, I will have all of the information from Readia. And once again, I will have all the information for Readia linked in the description box below. Definitely check them out if you're interested in the flameless lighter or any of their other products. The one that I got will be linked in my Amazon storefront as well. And if you purchase through that link, it does give me a little kickback. So thank you in advance for supporting my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.